Rachel Maddow and MSNBC present Bagman. Listen for free wherever you get your podcasts.
Today, in conjunction with the Department of the Treasury, we put out a statement, as did Treasury, imposing sanctions on 17 Saudi Arabian individuals for serious human rights abuses resulting from their roles in the killing of Jamal Khashoggi.
That's important right there. Sanctions issued by the Trump administration for the brutal killing of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi come on the same day that the results from the Saudis' own investigation are made public, and we'll let you draw your own conclusions on how thorough that investigation was. Our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, has our report on the latest developments.
Saudi prosecutors allege today when Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi walked into that Saudi consulate in Istanbul, the Saudi agents waiting inside were only supposed to bring him back to Saudi Arabia, that killing him was an on-the-spot decision that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman knew nothing about.
I believe that any rational thinking person will recognize that sometimes mistakes happen.
Saudi prosecutors will seek the death penalty for 5 of 11 suspects indicted for Khashoggi's murder. But Turkey doubts the alleged Saudi hit team, which reportedly brought a bone saw with them, just winged it. Multiple U.S. officials.
Absolutely. In other words, this didn't happen spontaneously. This was premeditated and ordered by that man right there, the very same man that was part of the group that ordered for 9/11 to happen. And then they turned on their own cousin by using bin Laden as a ploy to the extent of banning him from Saudi Arabia, leaving Saudi Arabia, they thought, in the clear, why bin Laden fended for himself in other parts of the country. These people burn the candle on all ends. They do not have no morals. They do not have any type of dignity pertaining to not only others, but their own. They'll eat their own. And that's what we've seen not only in 9/11, but that's what we're seeing right here. And once more, the very person that was part of the group that ordered for that reporter to be assassinated, once more, is still at large.
Have told NBC News the U.S. intelligence community believes it's inconceivable the Crown Prince had no connection to the death, while one Middle East official tells us tonight the Saudi explanation is, quote, a great work of fiction.
Inconceivable basically means impossible. In other words, there was really no way for him not to have known and to have been a part of that mass murder in their own council. It was a grudge, a blood grudge, because this reporter was similar to myself towards viewing his opinions about the Saudis, about 9/11, about what he thought pertaining to their guilt, and it irritated him to the point that they exploded. They could not withhold their own feelings and emotions towards being professional and went at him in a vicious form similar to any demonic figure. And you have to admit that their ideology that they have preached in regard of the Sharia law has poisoned the vast majority of the planet.
But the question tonight, will the Trump White House accept the Saudi explanation? The State Department is calling it a good start, but critics say this is just the accused hitmen becoming the fall guys.
Our thanks to Richard Engel.
Same
for that
thing
report
happened
there.
in
This is
9/11.
important, too. Khashoggi's former employer, the Washington Post, released a statement after today's developments calling for an independent investigation. They write, in part, and we quote, "From the start, the Saudi investigation has been an effort to shield those ultimately responsible for this heinous crime when there is every reason to believe that it was authorized at the highest levels of the Saudi government.
Absolutely.
It is impossible to have confidence that we have gotten to the truth when the purported investigations were neither transparent nor independent, and when evidence continues to be withheld." The statement
Right.
from the Washington Post. Another break for us, and coming up, big trouble tonight, an ocean away.
Good evening from Downing Street, still home to Theresa May, for now at least. This famous door has been the backdrop to many a drama over the years, but few in modern times can match what is playing out now for sheer visceral edge-of-your-seat tension. Where will it all end?
Well, that's what we're here to talk about. Last thing before we go tonight, if this is one of those nights for our viewers, we admit they happen, when after listening to us for an hour, you go to sleep fearing for our republic, tonight we suggest that you look at things in the UK. This is about Brexit. And while we may never know if the vote by the people of the UK to leave the European Union was in fact the first successful election infiltration by the Russians, barring a fresh vote, the will of the people stands, and as headline writers have become fond of saying, breaking up is hard to do. Theresa May is in big trouble tonight, as is her government, as is that compromise plan she has presented to get Great Britain out of the EU by next March. She may face a vote of no confidence. She may lose her leadership. Today she suffered a big loss when her Brexit secretary, the guy in charge of making it happen, resigned, just as the last Brexit secretary resigned just 4 months ago. Britain's breakaway may not get through Parliament, while the British pound got pounded today, and while just over 3 months remain, it is possible that this plan to break away is indeed breaking apart. As everyone needs to remember, and as a brand new New York Times 3-part video series superbly spells out, the Russians' endgame is to split us apart. The allied nations that they see as their enemies, the allies like the US and the UK that are currently dealing with divisions from within. That is our broadcast on this Thursday night. Thank you so very much for being here with us. Good night from NBC News headquarters here in New York.
It's definitely trying times, isn't it? As we step off into this adventurous moment of the year of the Jubilee in 2018. It's definitely one unforetold drama story being exposed right after another. And I guess we have data, TV, satellite, internet, social media to blame for this, but we are being bombarded right now with so much information coming at us from so many different angles. It would literally overwhelm even the strongest of the strong unless you was really prepared to meet these challenges that we are now all facing, fixing to walk off into 2019, basically approximately 45 days from now. Good luck to all of us, and shalom.